Hey Guitar fam and friends, it's Nate here. I've got a fun one for you today. This is the solo from the Sublime song Santeria. I've always heard this song, love the tone, love the feel of it, but I never learned it until now. And it ended up being a really great solo to learn to start thinking about playing over chord changes and actually hitting the chord tones either with pentatonic scales or arpeggios, as you will see. As usual, we have the tab and the jam track for you on guitarfam.com. So if you haven't yet, go to guitarfam.com, create your complimentary account. You'll get access to all those resources and you'll get access to the first module of all of our premium courses too. I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, the song is in the key of E major. Key of E is E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished. And look, the chord progression we're going over now. It's an E for one measure, and then we have a G sharp major. So that doesn't fit the key. So if you're improvising with this, you need to watch out for that G sharp major and adjust for it. This ends up being a major 3 chord or a 5 of 6. And then we have a C sharp minor, just a regular 6 chord for a measure, and then a B major for a measure. So it's just a 4 measure progression and you just play through it twice. It's just an 8 measure solo. All right, you start off here on this E, 7th fret of the A string, and you do your typical little E major pentatonic box. So 7 on the A string, 9 with your 3rd finger, slide up to 11, hop over to the D string, do 9, 11, put the hammer on, and then 9 of the G string. And the rhythm for that, it's, oh, one thing I should mention here, everything, all the 16th notes here are swung. So instead of having 1 E and a 2 E and you have 1 E and a 2 E. Right, so just keep that in mind. So instead of having that for 16th notes, you have, and that's the first lick. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then from there, I've kind of, when I did the slide, I morphed up into this E major pentatonic that uses the G shape. That's the one that everybody thinks of as a minor pentatonic, right? C sharp minor. But this time we're thinking about more of E major pentatonic with our root notes on the E's. Okay, so we have, and from there I go to 11 on the G string, bend that up a whole step with my 3rd finger, use all the fingers I can to help, thumb over, so full step, let it down, hit it again, and then 9 on that same G string. So that covers our E chord. Okay, and then we move back 1 fret here, and this is where our G sharp major comes in. So I'm moving to the 8th fret. I just hop back on the 8th fret on the G string. And as I'm playing this, I think about this G major chord with a D shape. And then hit it again, slide back to the 6th fret, back up to the 8th fret with my 3rd finger, bend up a half step, and let it back down. So I'm really kind of centering around this note out of the G sharp chord, which would be the 5th of the chord, so G sharp, B sharp, D sharp right there. So those first 2 measures all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put some vibrato on those 2, the first and the last notes of that measure of the G. All right, next up we change to a C sharp minor, and to do that we hop back to the 6th fret of the G string, and I'll play the lick for you. And really I'm just thinking C sharp minor pentatonic, right? And this is the C sharp with the A shape, right? And I'm just thinking this C sharp minor pentatonic to start. It starts on the 6th fret, and then a quick triplet, 6, pull off to 4 on the G string, and 6 on the D string, then back to 4 on the G string, and choke that note. So from here you shift down to the 4th fret of the D string, bend that up whole step, let it back down, and then play the 2nd fret of that D string. Then back to 4, pull off, quick triplet, and then 4 to 2, pull off, and then 4 of the A string to finish that little triplet grouping. And then just go 2 of the D string, 4 of the A string again. This is one of the faster licks. There's a couple of faster licks, but this is one of the more challenging ones. So you have speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I found the lighter I play this, the easier it is to play for me. And then we have this kind of out of the box, like a little chromatic kind of squirrely lick. It's just 2, and this is where he switched to a B major chord, and the notes that he starts on each string are out of the B major chord, so that's pretty cool. I'm thinking out of this B major, the A shape, and he starts off on the 5th of the chord. He just goes 2, 3, 4 on the low E string right in a row, so chromatic. Then he moves over and does the exact same thing on the next string, the A string, and when you start on that string, you're starting on the root of the chord, the B, and then he hops up to 4 on the D string and plays 4, 5, 6 just right in a row, and with picking on the first note and hammering on, right? And again, he's starting on the 5th of the chord right here, that F sharp. And then there's a funny story, I'd encourage you to go look it up. For this particular part of the song, there's a punch-in when they were recording, where they got a little double note blip, and they just left it in. But what it ends up sounding like is that. So he ends up going 4 on the G string and hammering on to 6. Okay, and he's starting there again on the B, on the root of the chord, and then he comes to 5 on the B string. Okay, so you have pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, move up, pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, pick. Okay, so slowly. And fast. Okay, this is where the progression starts over, so back to E, and this gets to be a really bluesy lick, and it's using that same E major pentatonic lick we started out with, but it's really, I feel myself being drawn to thinking about it as C sharp minor pentatonic more, just because of the way the lick is played. It's really bluesy, so think about the C sharp minor if you like, the one with the E minor shape, pinky on, or third finger on the 12th fret of the B string, bend that up a whole step. Then 9th fret of the high A, back to 12, 9 of the B string, and then go over to 11 of the G string, bend it up a half step and let it back down really quick. And then 9. And that 11 with the bend on it, and the 9 is a triplet. Triplet. So, and as I do that, I'm pulling off from 11 to 9, and then I go 11 on the D string, 9 on the G string, then I go back to 11 of the D string, pull off to 9, go over the A string, 11, 9, 11 with hammer-ons and pull-offs, so pick, pull off, hammer on, then over to 9, roll my finger over of the D string, and then 9 of the A string, and on 12 of the low E string. So this one's a little bit weird. There's a lot of kind of rolling back and forth. Listen to the, let's see if I can play it. One more time. And one more time up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that first note comes in on the 4 of the previous measure, so you get a little bit of anticipation there. Okay. From there, we go back to the G sharp major, and here's the lick. And this is cool because he's just outlining the G sharp major, and he's thinking about this C shape, this G sharp right here on the 11th fret of the A string. That's a G sharp, and if I hit that 10th fret of the next string over the D string, I'm just playing the root of the G sharp major chord, so it'd be G sharp, B sharp there. And he slides into the first one, 11, 10 on the D string, back to 11 on the A string, back to 10 on the D string with some vibrato. And he kind of anticipates this next little lick too. He's going back into the C sharp minor in the next measure. So I switch my thinking to this C sharp minor again, you know, standard pentatonic. So, and on a triplet, an 8th note triplet before the next measure, he hits 11 of the G and B strings and bends both of them up. You have to flatten your finger out and I bend up with as many fingers as I can get. And from there, look where my index finger is. It's already on the 9th fret because I'm helping bend, and it's flat. So he just lets off of the bend, and then puts his index finger on the 9th fret of the high E, B, and G string. So, and I have to kind of roll my finger so the notes don't all bleed all over one another to the degree, you know, that you hear it doing in the recording. And you can sweep it or alternate pick it there. Then he just does it again. 11 with 3rd finger bend up, and then 9, 9, 9 on the high E, B, and G strings. And then goes back to 11 with all his fingers flat and ready to bend up and let back down with some vibrato. And the last lick, that last little is back to the last chord in progression, which is a B. Okay? And I'm not necessarily thinking about a chord I'm playing over, I'm just holding out that last lick to let it rain over that B major chord. And that's the last lick. You have 11, full step bend on the G string, let it back down, 9, back to 11, and then back to 9. And then the very last note is 11 of the D string. So, okay, so let me play from that G sharp for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I should mention that 11th fret of that B string is an F sharp. So in that last measure, as we're playing over that B, that's the 5th of the B chord. So it's really emphasizing the out of this shape, D-shaped B chord. Okay, that is it. Let me know what other songs you'd like to see here on the YouTube channel, and I will get to them as soon as I can. I've got a list of about 11 songs right now, but after that, I'll be looking for more suggestions. If you have any questions or need any help with your playing, just hit us up, support@guitarfm.com, or leave a comment, or go book a personal private one-on-one lesson with me. The first one is complimentary, so there's no risk. I'll see you.